Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Anatomy of a Highly Paid Industry Expert. Um, I'm glad you could join us for the webinar today. It's going to be very interesting. I have a great panelist that's going to be joining me, and we're going to talk to you about what it takes to build a career as a highly paid industry expert. Now, first, let me start off by just saying, how many of you have ever, sounded like this in anywhere in your career? You've spent years becoming an expert. You were the go-to person for years at your work. You just lost a bid to someone who's charging more than you do, but they don't know half as much as you know. And then the bigger question that I think everyone tends to ask themselves is, how do I get people to pay me for what I know? It's very frustrating when you're in that boat of being an expert, but you have a hard time developing the skills to make people value your expertise. So what you're going to find really is that it's not always what you know as much as it's how you believe it, is how you're saying it to people. And that's what my panelist that's joining me today is going to help you with. To introduce you a little bit to about who I am, first of all, my name is Greg Davis. I'm from Rhythm of Profitability, and I'm a keynote artist, an author, a digital marketer, a radio host, and a singer-songwriter. And the panelist that's joining me that's really going to help you and change the way you think about your career is Connie Pheiff. She's a best-selling author, the president of the Greater Los Angeles National Speakers Association. She's a syndicated radio host and an emotional engagement coach. So Connie, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, Greg, I'm really glad to be here today. And welcome to all of our guests as well. Really glad that you're on the line with us. And we have a lot of really great, helpful information for you that's going to help you not only grow your business, but create a sustainable business for yourself as well.
Well, Connie, I'd like to start things off about, we're going to talk a lot about your career because I think it's going to be very inspirational for people to hear where you came from and where you are now. But I'd like to ask you to explain for people first what you mean by being an emotional engagement coach.
Well, it's really interesting, Greg, that you asked, because an emotional engagement, that really takes it deeper into really touching the heart of your employees, of your customers, of the community, because we're all too busy selling, trying to sell, trying to make that next dollar. What we're forgetting is that we need to serve first before we sell. And when you're able to do that, and when you're able to touch someone's heart, it's limitless. And I know that came from Steve Jobs first, but I've been using that quote for a lot of years, and that's how you're going to be able to reach out and touch someone. And that's when your business is going to grow.
Well, you've had, again, a tremendous career, but it didn't start off tremendous. I mean, you've had some growing pains, and you definitely had a lot of roadblocks. So tell everyone a little bit about your history.
Well, I like to say that I was cleaning houses before I was filling them, because that's exactly what I was doing. I mean, back in my teen years or even preteen years, to help the family pay the rent, I was literally cleaning houses for neighbors, our senior neighbors. I would do their grocery shopping. I had my little bicycle with the basket on it, and I would go door to door and asking who needs groceries, who needs their house cleaned. Hey, I'll do your ironing for you as well. I was doing whatever it took to, again, pay the rent, put food on the table. I was being an entrepreneur before I realized what an entrepreneur even was.
Well, and so what happened as far as you went from those humble beginnings, but you really had a good amount of leadership positions that you had working for other people. So tell me a little bit about your history of some of the corporations that you worked with.
Well, I moved up from cleaning houses really quickly, and I got a job at the United States Chamber of Commerce. I was a director. My job was to first schedule appointments with some huge folks, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Norman Lear, and I mean, you name it, I was scheduling with them, and then going and asking them for big dollars to help and support the revitalization program at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And then from there, I moved on to working as director of a local chamber. So I was director of the U.S. Chamber, director at a local chamber, stayed there for a bit of time, and then I was named the CEO of Girl Scouts, leading the #1 leadership program in the world for women. And it was just a phenomenal ride. And that was really my career. And that's, when they, in 2006, when they did their huge realignment, I was one of the project managers for that realignment. And following that is when I realized my true passion was to help other people not grow their business, lead their business, and create a sustainable business.
So one of the things about that is that you have this, really important position. You had all these skills that you had built, but then when all of that changed in 2006, I mean, you've shared with me before how you've struggled really about what you were going to do next. And I think that that's kind of where you said you had your aha moments. So walk me through a little bit of, what you were feeling as you were moving out of some of those corporate positions that you were in and kind of moving into this uncharted territory.
Well, it was definitely an uncharted territory after, I say the Girl Scouts left me. And after they left me, basically I went into a depression for a bit of time. And it was June 30th of 2006. So the fortunate thing was I got to hang around my pool and drink a lot of margaritas before September rolled around, when we had to put the cover on the pool. But at that point, I really struggled because I didn't have plan B. For me, I was in the job that I loved the most out of all of the positions that I've held. I truly enjoyed doing what I did at the Girl Scouts. I mean, we increased membership, by 86% in 1 year. We increased giving by over 200%. And it just went on and on and on. And that was really going back to the true vision of the emotional engagement. But as for me and my journey, it was really when someone picked up the phone, it was Girl Scouts, called me and asked if it was the new CEO, and asked if I would coach her because she was struggling to make that emotional connection in the communities. And from that point on, my aha moment was, wow, they're asking me. She was asking me to come back and coach her. Mm-hmm. And and of course, initially I was like, no. Why would I want to do
that? Filling up your drink. No, I'm busy.
Let's have another margarita on that call. But I quickly realized, you know what? That wasn't my passion. That was my calling. So I started coaching. And then with the coaching began, oh, wow, I do speak a lot. I do like to talk. Maybe I should learn how to professionally speak and travel around the world and talk with others, corporations and entrepreneurs, to help them understand what emotional engagement is and why that is so important to make that connection in order to make a sale. And that was really my aha moment, because I just realized, again, going back to when you touch somebody's heart, the opportunities are limitless and the world is our oyster. And why not reach out and grab it and grow our business like no other, and live our passion and live our dreams?
Well, again, and that's fascinating to move into that different mode. And so you were able to make that transition from being an expert to being someone who is valued for your expertise. And I think there's a difference there. So what would you say, is there a particular distinction that you could say that separates someone from being the expert versus being the thought leader?
That's really an interesting question on that one, because entrepreneurs get stuck. And again, I know when I started, although I said, oh yes, and I jumped in head first before even really thinking about what it is that I was doing. And after a while, I did get stuck, and I thought, wow, where am I going with this? Because I'm doing everything for the business. It wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't stuck. And really, I was being the worker bee. And that's what most entrepreneurs do. They think that they're the worker bee and that they have to do everything themselves. But let me tell you this, you don't have to do everything yourself. And doing everything yourself, it's just not possible, nor is it going to grow your business. You need to become the leader, the thought leader, the one who is telling the world what you have to offer. Because unless you're telling somebody what you have to offer, they don't know, and your phone isn't going to be ringing. And you have something to offer the world, so you want to be sure that you're sharing it.
Right. A
And you
lot of people.
also,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, so you also want to do what you do best, and you want to get others to do what they do best, to be supporting you.
Well, that's what I was going to just touch on, is that a lot of people, as you said, they feel that they have to do everything themselves. And, when you think about a toolbox and all the tools that are in that toolbox, if you can kind of give yourself or buy yourself some freedom by working with other people, it gives you the freedom to actually focus on the things that you're excellent at. Not everybody can do, like you said, you can't do everything. And if you
No.
are trying to do everything, you're not going to do everything at an excellent level. So it's, ridding yourself of the distractions that are slowing you down, and really, putting a hindrance on your ability to grow, is such a benefit for someone if they can, find the comfort zone of just letting go and letting other people do what they do best too.
Yeah, absolutely. And entrepreneurs fall into that trap. And they fall into the trap where, I can't afford it. I have to do it myself. And let's be honest, I mean, you are going to work a lot of hours as an entrepreneur, and you want to make sure everything is done right because it's your name, it's your brand, it's what you're putting out there. And if you can't afford to pay somebody, there's always a way to do it as a percentage or do it as an exchange, as a trade-off. A lot of people are doing that. They're willing to share. I'll share my skill with you, and you share your skill with me, and it's a win-win for everybody. And also look for those partners, those business partners that you can work with on specific projects. Doesn't mean they have to be a partner of your entire business, but just a partner on specific projects that you have. That's a win-win for everybody as well.
And that's what the slide that we have up right now. I think that's where people have that illusion about being entrepreneurial, is that they look at really successful people and they seem to really have their life together and everything is just working really smooth. And it looks like this. You think it's just a race against your competitors. You have a straight line, there's a blueprint, and you're just moving forward. But in reality, this is really what it looks like for
Oh yeah.
entrepreneurs. I mean, this is what they're going through. It's just a big pool of people with no sense of direction, no real, you know, a clear identification of where the finish line is versus where the starting line is. And so it's really about trying to figure that stuff out, which is what every entrepreneur goes through, right?
Oh, I don't know an entrepreneur that I have spoken to that has walked that straight line. And if they have, I would really like them to come forward because I would like to know their secret sauce on how to make that happen.
Well, you again have, every time I talk to you, there's something new that you're doing. It's, a new book deal or a new speaking opportunity. But there's a lot of people out there that I think really have a certain level of expertise or passion, but then they go and they work at a job that's maybe a 9 to 5 job that they're really not that passionate about, but it pays the bills. Now,
Yes.
what would you say, what do you think are why so many experts are sitting out there waiting to pursue those passions?
The biggest thing is fear. And that's the number one event that will hold us back, and the fear of change, the fear of taking a step, the fear of doing something different, the fear of telling your family and friends that you are going to go on this new venture, and the fear of somebody laughing at you. It's really, I mean, the number one thing is fear that's holding us back, but we have dreams. I mean, every single one of us have a dream. Whether you had a dream to be a doctor or a fireman, or your dream is to, travel the space, whatever it is, or your dream is to be an entrepreneur and either sell a service or sell a widget to somebody, but we all have dreams. And I do like to say that your dream is your reality waiting for you to get there. And it's up to you to take that first step, because you could go and you could be a seminar junkie and you can hire a coach or a consultant, but unless you're ready to take that step, it's just not going to work. Now, I know, I'm going back to what you said, Greg, that, yeah, you do have bills that you still have to pay. So I am not at all saying, okay, quit your job today and go start following your dream. No, you have to have a strategy. You need to put a strategy in place that's going to get you to the place that you want to be.
Right. I mean, and that strategy is so important. And that's why I want to have an opportunity for you to discuss what you and I have teamed up really to present to people. But this is something that, your coaching has really fostered relationships over the years and helped so many entrepreneurs that you've been able to work with and help them get to that next level. And so what I'd like you to really describe for everyone is what the Business Accelerator program is all about.
Well, I'm really excited to share that one. Our Business Accelerator program, there's a number of things that we have in the program. And the number one thing that people enjoy and they want is a private membership to a mastermind group, which we have set up with a private Facebook group. And that's led by both Greg and myself. And it's a membership site, and it gives you just access to an ever-evolving library of resources that we continually put out there for our members. There's access to industry experts. Everyone is going to come in and help you accelerate your business. Fortunately, with what I do as being a syndicated radio host, an international speaker coach, president of the National Speakers Association, Toastmasters, and it's just the valuable resources that I have to me of industry experts that are willing to come and share their expertise with our members is just phenomenal. Also, we provide some technical help, and I'm sure that all entrepreneurs are going to say that they wish that they had someone at their fingertips that's going to provide them technical support. And our clients are always asking us that. So what we're doing, each month we have Technical Tuesday, which is basically in real time. All of our members can join a chat that's going to be led by Greg, where you can ask your technical questions about your website, your podcasts, videos, social media. It's also a way to learn from others and what others are doing with their technology and how they're accelerating their business as well. And then we also have Social Proof Days. Social Proof Days is broadcast, podcast Monday, and that's where we reach out to all of our members to participate, to subscribe, to rate and review each other. We have Twitter Tuesday, same thing, follow, click and tweet for each other. LinkedIn Log Wednesday, that's our blog post day and commenting on each other's blogs. And we have Google Thursday. And again, we're posting comments for each other on YouTube, giving each other thumbs up, adding comments to circles. And then Friday is Facebook Fridays. And of course, we like and comment for each other. And just, again, a great opportunity where we can be helping and supporting each other. So, for example, if somebody has a book launch, we need to get those testimonials out there. We need to get those thumbs up. So we're a support group to help each other do that. We also have Entrepreneur of the Month. And that is where a member of the Business Accelerator Academy is featured. And of course, we pin you up on the private Facebook group. We help engage you throughout all the membership because it's going to be all about you for the month. And basically, I mean, that's going to help you accelerate your business. You also receive some very candid feedback from other group members. You choose the engagement that you want from the members. I mean, it could be a phone call, or you could really just schedule an impromptu hangout that we all have set up for you. Then we have our members-only weekly newsletter, where we keep you informed on the latest wins of our members, a full calendar of events. Each of the members contribute their tips or an inspiring story that's going to serve your fellow members to help each other accelerate your business. We also have included is a fireside chat that's again with Connie and Greg each month. And the chat is exclusive to our Business Accelerator Academy members only, exclusive, where you can ask questions, share best practices, hear the latest news and advice, all to accelerate your business, because it's your space to ask questions and provide feedback to your fellow members. And it continues. We have our Business Accelerator testimonials. We have a live radio member spotlight where on the last Monday of each month, a member of the Business Accelerator Academy is spotlighted on my syndicated show, which is live, primetime syndicated radio program. And the spotlight for you begins 2 weeks prior to the airing of the show, and it continues even after. And you'll also receive an MP3 file so you can promote this honor to your tribe, to your associates, everyone that's in your list as well. We have meetups. We have quarterly meetups, and not just in one location. We move the meetups across the country, so we reach out to our members to host those meetups, and everyone, of course, is invited to attend. And also, every one of our members, Business Accelerator Academy members, have the opportunity to join our Business Accelerator program. Now, this program is offered to our members only. We hold it each quarter. It's a 2.5-day deep dive into how to become a highly paid industry expert, where we are reviewing the 5 P's of business acceleration: process, position, package, promotion, performance, and profits, which we all want. And for those of you that are really serious about accelerating business, I mean, this program's for you. It's a support group of like-minded entrepreneurs with the same goal in mind, and that is results now. That one is limited, and if that's something that you're interested in, let Greg or I know, and we'll have a further conversation on that to get you hooked up there.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for you to, if you want to sign up now for this program, you could do so by just clicking on the add to cart button that you see on your screen. But let me just tell you a little bit about why I personally wanted to be a part of this program that Connie started. Is that I've worked with coaches as far as I've been mentored by coaches, and it's a great experience. But what this offers is so much more than just that one-on-one coaching experience. The fact that you have the ability to network with peers that can help you grow your business, grow that thought leadership, because you're teaming up to help one another. The fact that you have the ability to have some one-on-one coaching with your digital strategy, which, as she said, I provide, is an opportunity to make sure that you're not making bad decisions from the start. I've worked with a lot of clients over the years in the digital space specifically, where if they had only known when they started what they were getting into, they could have saved themselves so much trouble, so much aggravation, and they would have been profitable so much faster if they had just known the right steps to do. That's something that we wanted to be sure we include in this, so that you have a complete 360-degree view of how your business can grow. Now, what I wanted to kind of talk about too is, Connie, if you could mention, there is a free gift for those that do sign up today. Can you talk a little bit about the free gift for everyone?
Sure, absolutely. For everyone who signs up today is going to get a copy of my new book, Marketing Masters: Ready, Set, Grow Your Market. And you're going to get it now before it hits bookshelves in May. And I'm really excited about that. I'm starting my book tour across the country next week. And I will be sure to let you all know where I'm going to be so you can come and visit. But that's a great one. And we also have a bonus for today. A lot of our members will come back to me, how do I get sponsorships? What's the whole process of that? How can I connect? Can I even get a sponsorship because I'm not a nonprofit organization? Hint, this is your bonus. Yes. You don't have to be a nonprofit organization to get a sponsorship from a corporation. There is a process that you have to go through. And I am giving that bonus to everyone who signs up today will receive that blueprint and how you can captivate corporate sponsorships. So make sure you sign up today so you can get my book and also the How to Captivate Corporate Sponsorships Blueprint.
I've seen there's a lot of buzz out there these days about corporate sponsorships. A lot of people that are, uh, you know, trying to put information out there about that, and they're charging a lot for it. So the idea of actually being able to get that as part of the bonus of today is an extreme value. So by all means, take advantage of that and make sure you sign up today. Now, I want to get back to the presentation a little bit, because really, for some people, I think that when you work in an organization, I'll speak for myself first, is that, when you work in an organization, you find that your boss, hopefully your boss, as well as other people in the organization, are really serving as a mentor or a coach. If they're worth anything, then they are mentoring you and trying to help you grow your career. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're kind of out there all on your own, and you don't really have an opportunity to have someone really mentor you or coach you. And so that's why, me personally, I find coaching so important. Now, what would you say, you've had experience being able to coach a lot of people, you've been mentored as well. What would be
Mhm.
your view around what the importance is of having a coach versus going it alone?
Well, before I started working with my first coach, I was trying to go it alone. And I was trying to be that worker bee, and I was trying to do everything there was to be. And ironically, the coach I ended up working with, he was referred to me 5 times before it was like, oh, hit yourself in the head. I should have had a V8. Why didn't I start working with him sooner? Because and it was one of those moments. Yeah, back to the margaritas. And sometimes we do that. And especially when we're just starting out, it's like, oh, I could do this myself. I can do it myself. Well, you just can't. You really just can't do it yourself. And before I started working with the coach, I felt like I was in this circle, in this maze. I was just, I just kept going, and I just was never getting to the end. I was never getting to my results. When I was able to, and when I did start working with the coach, he just made it so much clearer for me to look at everything that I was doing objectively. I was doing everything right. I was just not making that leap. I was not executing. I wasn't taking it to the next level. And that was the difference working with the coach. And I understand that fully, because today I still work with the coach. I have a mentor, and he shares things with me about me that I'm not looking at because I'm too close around it. I'm not seeing the big picture of myself, but I can certainly see that for everybody else. If somebody were to come to me, within 5 minutes, I have their new brand set up, I have a new program set up for them, and they're off and running. So
Right.
that's the value of having a coach.
Yeah, and I think that's you're exactly right as far as the idea of being able to have someone who could objectively look at you and see where your career is at, because it's always easier to give advice than it is to follow your own advice a lot of times. So you need somebody that you're accountable to, who's going to hold your feet to the fire to be sure that you are doing the things you say you want to do. You come into the room and say you have a dream that you want to pursue. You need somebody who's going to make sure they're pushing you and encouraging you and helping you get there so that those dreams become a reality. Otherwise, looking at this is really like this page that we're on right now is showing kind of all the pieces coming together. As far as, if you were going to be a highly paid industry expert, you're going to make sure that you have your digital strategy, your packaging, your promotions, your media, your keynote speaking, your content, your press kits, your one sheets, and all those other sales materials. But if you don't know, if you don't realize all the things you are doing right or are not doing right, you may be missing pieces of that body. You may be very incomplete to where you're just kind of limping along and you're wondering, gosh, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur because things just are not working for me. And it may not be, as you said before, Connie, you were doing things right, but sometimes you need someone who can come in and give you that holistic view of what you're trying to accomplish to make sure that you are complete and to make sure that
Right.
you have all of those pieces in line. And that is what is so important about the ability to be able to work with a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not, you're really missing some very strategic opportunities to grow your business and create that sustainable business. So that's something that I definitely recommend that you seek out working with the coach.
So I'm going to go back to, again, the details. You went through this pretty thorough for us as far as everything that's involved in the Business Accelerator Academy. But I want to have this up here so we can kind of speak to it. But I also want to open up for some Q&A because there's some questions that I have that I want to be sure that we get to. And I appreciate everyone's patience as you waited for me to kind of get to the Q&A part of the webinar. But one of the first things that Tony is asking is, he's just having a challenge with developing his goals. Like he says basically, I have the dream. I know what I want to do, but I have a hard time developing goals to make it happen. So, Connie, what advice would you give to someone like Tony?
Well, that's not the first time I've heard that question, Greg, because most entrepreneurs really do find it difficult to develop their clear goals, because what is happening is they're taking their personal goals and they're combining it into their business goals. And think about it, it really does make sense, because often entrepreneurs they're really trying to turn their personal passion into a business. A personal passion of their maybe it's a stay-at-home mom and she does exercise programs and she wants to turn that into a video and create a business out of that. So now, how do you develop those clear business goals that are separate from your personal goals as well? So what I try to do, I just try to help people really get a clear vision, and that it's okay really to link the two, but you really need to have the ability to separate the goals, because it's going to help you then focus on your personal growth, but also focus on the success of your business at the same time. So, I hope that's clear enough. So again, you need to have them separate, but at the same time, that there's going to be an overlap between the two.
No, that's really interesting that you said that, because I've never thought about that really from an entrepreneurial standpoint, how really, yeah, you are setting personal and professional goals. So that's really nice distinction to hear, because I don't think I've really, I know I've gone through these exercises to do it, but I don't think I really thought about that in the same term of how I'm separating, the things I want to achieve as a individual and then the things I have to achieve for my business, and how you sometimes there is that overlap, and being sure that you are creating those two different lines. I think that was a great answer and a great way to distinguish that. So thanks for the question, Tony.
You're welcome.
Shanna is asking, how do I know if I have the right strategy?
Well, how do you know if you have the right strategy? Well, Shanna, I have to ask you, my first question is, what are your short-term and long-term strategies for achieving your goal? So you need to be really clear on that you have your strategies in place. So, what I look at with a successful entrepreneur is they know what they need. They know who they need to bring on board that's going to help them, achieve their milestones. Because basically, your long-term goal is, in year 3, I want to be doing X. In year 5, I want to be doing X. But now let's come back and look at your short-term goals and what steps are you going to take to get there. Now you have your tactical strategies that you want to be looking at now. And how do you do that? And you want to create that blueprint that's going to help you really clearly define your vision. And that still goes back to attracting the right people and ensuring that you have a plan in place for your decision-making process as well. So having the strategies in place, they're going to guide you through any of those problems or those confusions that may come with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that, Shanna, what you also want to be careful that you don't fall into the trap of is when people are following things that they're passionate about. What happens is that if you, let's say you've been working a 9 to 5 job for the last however many years, and then you have this passion that you've been doing as a hobby, and now you're trying to turn that into a profitable business. Well, what happens with a lot of people that are following their passions is that they forget about the profitable part, and they're not used to asking for the sale when it comes to doing that thing that used to be a hobby because you're trying to turn it into a business. So as part of that strategy too, you need to change your mindset, the culture of your mindset, so that this thing that used to be a hobby is now being something that you're going out there and you're asking for people to pay for. And that could be a hard transition for people. So again, that's where working with someone who can help coach you through the process of learning how to become more comfortable asking for the sale can be very important. uh, so Robert is asking, I guess it's kind of along the same lines, is how do I execute my strategy?
Robert, this is an excellent question, but probably one of the hardest to answer because you have great ideas, but there is never any guarantee that you're going to have a success. Entrepreneurs are, I mean, they're failing every day, and I hate to share that with you, but the only reason that they're failing is because they don't know how to execute a brilliant strategy. I see people out there and they have widgets and gadgets and they have a successful business, and I really have to say, really? But what they're doing great is they have a very brilliant strategy that's getting them out there. And investors look at that too. They're looking at people and they want to be sure that whoever they're investing in, that they're capable of delivering on their promises. And that goes back to your strategy. So maybe you have a talking fish, or maybe you're offering coaching services, or again, whatever that might be. I mean, you want to deliver on your promise. You want to be an A+ program, but more important, you need to be excellent at delivering your strategies.
Oh, excellent. And we let me see here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to kind of go through. There's a couple here that sort of touched on the same point.
Can
So
I
I'm
just add to
going
that,
with it.
Greg?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I was just, thinking a little bit more in that and going back to what we were talking about of working with a coach or a mentor. They are your greatest asset. As an entrepreneur, your coach, your mentor is your greatest asset. So if you hire the right people, the smart people, they're going to help you figure things out, especially when the times get tough.
No, and that's, you know what, I'll touch on that because that really goes back to what we were saying before about, when you're working for an organization, what you're doing is that you're kind of giving up a certain level of freedom and saying to your boss, your manager, the company itself, that you're willing to let them sort of dictate your day. They're sort of say your schedule, when you can come in, when you can leave, when you get to take lunch and vacation. And along with that, though, is that you're going to learn new skill sets and you're going to have accountability for them, because if you don't do your job, if you don't show up, then you don't get paid. When it comes to executing a strategy for your business as an entrepreneur, again, you don't have anyone pushing you that way aside from whoever you owe bills to. They're the ones that are asking for when's their money coming. And I think that that's an important thing to remember when it comes to working with a coach, is that you need someone to provide, comfort to you, because sometimes as an entrepreneur, I mean, again, it is a roller coaster ride and you want to give up tomorrow, but then you need to be kind of talked off the ledge and to make sure that you stick with it and execute your strategy completely. A lot of people will start their strategy and then they don't see a ton of great results, so they give up and they move on to something else. You need somebody who's going to help you be accountable to make sure you're following through. But as Connie said, is supporting you. When you are stuck in something, or you just don't know what you don't know yet about a certain subject or a certain area that you're trying to move into, that's where you need a coach, because a coach is going to have those assets available to you. And that's what's particularly in this program that we're offering, is that you're not just working with myself and with Connie. We also have a team of experts and thought leaders that we've developed relationships with over the years that we can bring to the table on a wide variety of subjects. So it doesn't have to be strictly about, subject A, B, or C. I mean, you're talking about the entire alphabet as far as the resources that we have. And that's
Mm,
something that you don't get working on your own as an entrepreneur, but you do when you work with a coach team.
yeah, absolutely. Great advice. And I love it. That will keep you or will talk you off the ledge.
if nothing at all, that is one of the most critical parts of working with a coach. So, all right, another question that again, I think that this answer, there's a very easy way to answer this, but I think that there's a more detailed way to say it as well. How do I
Okay.
know if my business model is profitable? Now, the first thing I'll say to that is, well, can you pay your bills? If so, then it's profitable. But there's more to it than that. So,
Yeah.
so how would you describe for someone as far as like being able to, and I think what Danny's getting at here is that I think people have business ideas, but they're afraid that there's no way to make money there. So what would you say to how to, how to know whether that business model is going to be profitable?
So these are all really great questions today. And this question, I think you said it came from Dan. And yeah, how do you know it's profitable? Like you said, well, yeah, I could pay my mortgage this month, so I guess I'm profitable. But it's much more than that. And really, what I tell entrepreneurs that unless you're starting a nonprofit organization, and I mean, all entrepreneurs they're hoping that they're going to be profitable. But you really need to pay very close attention. You need to be really watching your profit level, your profit margins, because if you don't, you're not going to be around very quickly. So as part of the analysis and what we do in the Business Accelerator Academy, we use an analysis because we understand that there is a value in evaluating your overall business model. Yeah, and another example is that I like to use is, let's say you had a dog whitening product, you're whitening dog's teeth, and you want to consider the pricing structure. And are you selling in bulk? Are you selling pens? Are you providing a whitening service? And that goes back to your brand. And how are you promoting that and getting that out there? Also ask yourself, where will you sell? Are you selling online? Are you going directly to the vet's office or spas or any of the retailers? So here's some questions there that I want you to consider, that I always ask to understand if it's profitable. You want to look at, what is your cost structure? What are your expenses? How much is it costing you to gain a client? Because there's some expenses in there as well. And also, what is the anticipated demand for your product? Again, it doesn't matter what your product is, but what is the demand for the product? And again, how are you selling? Is it online? Is it brick and mortar? Is it a multi-level marketing type reselling programs? Are you focusing on B2B or B2C customers? Are you selling to individuals or to groups? And also, do you have a franchise model? Because I get that a lot as well, because our Business Accelerator Academy, that is a franchise model. We are licensing other people to basically take ownership of that program, put your brand on it, and then you can use it. Again, that's another level of income stream, and the ways to look at, is your business model profitable, or to create a profitable business model. So there's several different layers of how you can create that. But you really need to stay on top of watching your numbers. And if you don't know how to do it, get somebody who does, like I do. Because I don't do it myself. I have somebody else that does that for me.
That's one of the most pleasurable emails or phone calls you can make, is a call about the numbers that you can just call someone else and they've taken care of it for you.
Yes, just give me the bottom line. I know what, just tell me what I need to do. So, and it works. It works. And that goes back to what we were saying, find the expert that could do it for you.
Yeah, and something that kind of came to mind as you were going through some of the information that you just laid out is that I think a lot of entrepreneurs too. Sometimes me as a digital person, uh, I take for granted that not everybody is in the same comfort level when it comes to even marketing terms, buzzwords, acronyms that are out there in business. And so you, again, could be starting this business, but you haven't really given a lot of thought to the way to look at doing a successful product launch. And again, that's where you can leverage our expertise because of the road that we've been down, that we can help you really think about these things and learn some of these terms. Because again, as you're going and speaking with someone, you want to be able to develop that elevator pitch for how to represent yourself the most efficient way that is also engaging and makes people want to take interest in your business. You want to learn, the types of terms that other investors or entrepreneurs are going to be used to hearing when you're talking about a business. So you want to kind of have some of those trigger words or those hot button words. And so those are, again, are things that we can work with you and work through to be sure that you feel that you have the chops really to go out there and start, making the pitch for your whatever it is you're selling, whether it be online or brick and mortar or door to door, however that works for you.
Well, that's our mission. And our mission is helping entrepreneurs engage and achieve by providing actionable resources and that are going to produce results for you and processes so you can embrace change, sustainability, innovation, and enjoy a lifestyle of your dreams.
Well, we're running out of time now, and I want to leave the screen here open again just for a little bit for an opportunity for you to take advantage of signing up today. It's an opportunity for you to have for $99 a month to be a part of the Business Accelerator Academy, where you have all these things we've talked about today. In addition to signing up for the Academy, if you sign up today, you also get a free gift, which is Connie's new book, Marketing Masters, that is due later in May, and you have an opportunity to get it now. And then on top of that is again the bonus gift, which in itself is a program that people are running all about, developing sponsorships for your organization. And that's something that you are going to have as a free gift just for signing up today to join this program. Connie, before we depart, are there any words of wisdom that you'd like to kind of pass on along to everyone?
Well, my words of wisdom is don't give up. Don't give up. The people that are successful in this business, meaning entrepreneurs, whatever business that you're in, if you have a small two-person operation or if you have a large several hundred or even thousand operation, but you are the entrepreneur, you're the one at the helm. Don't give up because the ones that stick to it the longest, I call it the stickability factor, you will win and it will come and it will happen. But you need to work at it. You need to stick at it and don't give up.
Again, I think that's the great advice for any entrepreneur because, as we've talked about, it's a roller coaster ride, and you need to be sure that you're putting the right tools in your toolbox to help you get to the next level. So, thank you, Connie Pheiff, for being a panelist on today's webinar and for sharing all the information that you did, all the wisdom of your years of success and continued success as you share this with other people and actually help them get to the next level the way that you had that same mentorship for yourself. So the information is here. We're going to leave the screen on for about another minute, but we are going to bring this webinar to a close. Thank you everyone who participated and
Yes, thank
asked
you.
questions. It was very helpful to have you on here, and we hope that you learned something today and will take part in the Business Accelerator Academy.
We'll talk to you soon.